Hello, what have we here?
Welcome to IDP Nation, the place for IDP and draft coverage. We are your hosts, Dan and Darrell. We have you covered from your LB one-year taxi squad. We are IDP Nation. We are back once again, a day late. That's okay. We're back. Just a quick,
better late than never.
Yes, quick scheduling note. Next week I will be on vacation, so we are going to record probably a day early, actually. So we won't be really too much off. I thought we were going to record later, but I'm not leaving until Tuesday, so we will have a show for you for next week.
Where you headed?
Normal bat time. I think Ocean City, Maryland, if it's not underwater or COVID closed, one or the other.
Oh, yeah.
As far as I know, it's still open and kicking, so should be good to go.
Yeah, we got hit with mandatory mask thing this week, so.
It's been mandatory here for a long time here.
Well, we're way behind y'all. I think it's been the problem, and we got hit with it, and it's been a mess at work. And
for sure.
Ugh. I hate wearing those things.
Yeah, it's annoying. It's annoying.
I go to work, I come home because I'm just not doing it. I'm not going to do it. I get it. I'll do my part. I'll stay home.
Is what it is. Not much you can do about it. Not much anybody can do about it. Just, I don't know. We're not going to get too ultra political here, but so that's the quick note off the top that I will be missing in action next week. But we're going to record Monday, so it'll be pretty up to date. We might miss something if it happens on Tuesday, but all the opt out noise should be done by then.
Yes.
So we'll talk a little bit about that on today's show. We will also break down some of our listener league. We got half of it broken down last time. And over the weekend, I had my home draft as well, so we can talk about how that went, how I fared and if you remember from last year, you may not have because it's been a while. We do a free agent auction of restricted free agents before the draft, and then we do the draft all in one day. It's an event that we put on. I'm the commissioner, so yeah, that's how I feel.
Sounds like a big undertaking for one day.
It is, but have you ever tried to get 12 grown men in the same room at the same time in the summer when half of them are married and have wives? And that's the thing. But
it's fun, though. I mean, if you can pull it off, it's fun. But
it is fun. But like I said, the with wives part throws a wrench in it, and I'm married too. But
those darn pesky wives.
They plan vacations. They they don't necessarily, and I know us gentlemen, we don't always, tell our wives, hey, I have a draft on August 2nd, blah, blah, blah. They just kind of, assume you don't have plans, and we assume that they didn't book anything. So,
well, what happens when you assume?
Well, yes, I know. But we managed it, and we had one owner participate virtually because he has a newborn at home and didn't want to, take any risks, any undue risks.
Now that's neat. A virtual draft.
Well, that's kind of how we do all of our drafts that we're in, Darrell.
Well, yeah, but like a live draft, you usually don't see. You either have everybody there or somebody's missing. You usually don't have somebody doing the virtual part there.
Well, yeah, we used and this is a free plug because I kind of nudged them a little bit, like, hey, I have a podcast, blah blah blah. I love your product, but they didn't take the bait. Fan draft. We use the Fan Draft app. And it's actually all web-based now. It used to be you used to download the software onto your computer, but it's all web-based now. and you set up your draft board, and actually you can invite the other owners. So you can do this virtually, like, completely virtually. You don't have to be in the same room.
That's pretty cool.
It was cool because he could see the draft board from his house and everything. And we had him on an iPad, like on a Zoom meeting, so he could, hear us, and, he could participate and talk to us, and, all that stuff. And especially during the auction, because the auction was not on FanDraft. It was all live, just, me with a spreadsheet up. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. FanDraft's a great product. I'm not getting paid to tell you this. I love it. I've used it for the past 4 years. If they were paying me, I'd tell you I was getting, they're a sponsor of the show, but they're not. I just like their product, and it is compatible with my fantasy league, who is a sponsor of our show. And it's really easy for the FanDraft and my fantasy league to work together. Basically, you can import all your My Fantasy League stuff into FanDraft. Run your draft. You run your draft, and then you click one button, and it exports all of the draft information into My Fantasy League. Oh. So if you're looking to kick your draft up a notch,
that is cool.
Yeah, it's a cool product. It's cool that it works that way with My Fantasy League. There was a little hiccup over the weekend. Just a communication error between the two sites. But the people at FanDraft got it straightened out for me within 24 hours. So yeah, it was awesome. Again, fun draft as always. My home draft is, the one that's been long running. My other home draft, so to speak, is normally the day before Labor Day or Labor Day we draft. So
I love home drafts. They're so good.
They are, and it's mainly because it's people you're normally been good buddies with for a long time.
Right. The one that you're in with me, we used to get together. We've had some changeover, but we used to go like Buffalo Wild Wings, or we had this one guy that played for a number of years. He just had an empty building, and they played cards in all the time. So we'd go down there and order pizzas, and it was a great time. Spend all day messing around with that. So yeah, I love the home leagues. So much fun, especially when you can rib somebody and you're sniping people in person, and they're all pissed off about it. It's great.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's being in person with your buddies. Some of the people I've known for 25 years.
Yeah.
So some of these people I've known for a very long time. All of them I've known for at least we've been running the league.
I just got to ask: do you have anybody in your league that's like little Jeffrey in my league? You know who Jeffrey is, Jeff.
I'm not good with names.
The Bears in my league, you know who he is. The one I give a hard time to all the time.
And in what way are you saying? Is there somebody like that?
Do you have one of those? The Notre Dame guy that's in my league. Remember me telling you about him?
Again,
what good are you? What good are you?
50 leagues. I can't memorize. I've been in your league for about 4 months now, so
yeah, you have. Well, you'll know Jeffrey. Just keep an eye on the chat. You'll know him. You'll be like, yeah, that guy.
Like I said, my brain's fried between these eliminators, getting all those running.
Did we finally get mine filled up? By the way,
it's close.
I thought we only needed one more, and I thought we got it.
We didn't need one. We needed like 2 or 3. Dingus is full. Pending a couple people paying. We got, let's see, 1, 2, 3. I still need 6 people to pay for Dinguses, so I'm hoping to get that drafted by Friday. Yours, I hope to get started drafting before I leave for vacation, because
I hope so too.
I don't plan on taking my computer with me.
It's for a good cause.
It is. We need 1 or 2 people. And I say 1 or 2 because we've had some issues with people that signed up early that may have forgotten that they signed up, or they signed up for way too many of these, and now they realize that they can't handle all these drafts going on at the same time. But yeah, a few of them have already paid. A few of them, are ready to roll. So I think I'm jumping in. So we need like 2 more people, I think, to be safe.
Shoot me the link and I'll do some sharing while we're on. See if I can get it filled up before we go off.
All right, I will. So yeah, it's a good cause.
If nothing else, it's a chance to beat me. So come on.
It is, and a chance to.
Which I don't think anybody can do. I'm just saying.
And I did offer a spot on the IDP Lounge.
There you go.
You beat Hollywood. You can come on the IDP Lounge with us and hang out for a Friday night.
Sure.
So that's up for grabs for whoever takes down the title of IDP Only Champ. Very fitting. Speaking of the IDP Lounge, we had a couple cool Fridays coming up. Of course, I misplaced my paper. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we have Chris Robin, Detroit Beastie, coming on. And
cool. Love Beastie.
We have Bob Lung coming on. And
yes,
I remember the third. And Calvin and Hobby from the Dynasty Vipers coming on.
I always think of the cartoon when you say that. Calvin and Hobbs.
I'm assuming he was a Calvin and Hobbes fan to have that.
He's got to be.
Twitter handle. I have a bunch of those books. I gave them to my son, but they're upstairs. But yeah, and also Dingus will be in the chair this week and next week. And just a little teaser: we're going to have a huge show on the 14th with our maximum amount of guests allowed on StreamYard plus some. Because we're going to do a mock draft on the 14th.
Ooh, mock draft.
Which will be really cool. So it's going to be a 20-round, I believe. We're working out the details here. A 20-round, 10 offense, 10 defense, no bench. You have to draft 10 offense and 10 defense, be able to, set a lineup. Okay. And we're going to have 12 different mockers on. So
mockers.
We've done mocks in the past where me and you have had to draft 3 teams and stuff before. This will be everybody has a team. Team. It's we'll probably set it up on Sleeper has the mock drafts, and we'll have everybody all talk about their picks and what they're thinking. Obviously you don't want to give away too much because there's other people picking right behind you. But I mean, it's not really you're not playing with this team. But it'll be interesting to see how
it's a fake team.
It is a fake team, yes. And we have a lot of familiar faces and names to the podcast coming on that, and some that aren't. And we'll talk them into coming on IDP Nation, I'm sure, in the future. I'm on the clock in another eliminator. I'm in so many of these. I have to look at my team before I start drafting because I'm like, which league is this? So while I'm figuring out which league this is, why don't you hit us up with some news, and then I'll tell you who I'm picking here. It's a 1 quarterback offensive only, so it's not like, it's not a huge deal that we announce anything on the air. Right. Go ahead. What's the news? What do we got?
All right. So in these times, it's only fitting that we have COVID news still going on. We've had a couple big pieces already opt out, fall by the wayside, whatever you want to call it. The Jets linebacker C.J. Mosley has decided to opt out. Panthers linebacker Christian Miller has decided to opt out. That's 2 big starters for those teams, big starters for fantasy owners that's out. And then there's a third one, and we will not, me and you discussed this before we come on. The deadline is tomorrow at 4:00 if you're going to opt out or not. But the third one is the Bills cornerback Tre'Davious White is considering opting out. So that's pretty big news. I mean, it's not like it's just back into the roster players or stuff like that, which there is some of those, but you're actually getting some big name stars that are, for whatever reason, newborn kids or health related reasons or whatever, they're deciding, I'm going to sit this one out this year.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I don't fault anybody for sitting out. You know,
No.
I've talked to some people in chats that have actually had it. They say it's not pleasant at all. There's different symptoms. It depends on, I guess, who you are and
yeah. I mean, it's a broad range from the way I understand. It's like you get really, really sick, or it's just kind of like flu symptoms, or you're just kind of tired or whatever. But yeah. I guess each case is, like you said, is different. So,
yeah, some of the symptoms are severe. Some of them are not severe. I mean, we've seen positive tests. We've had false positives and stuff in the NFL. Because the COVID list, man, I swear some people are just dumping guys on IR, even if they, test, and they're gonna be back in like 2 days. I mean,
yeah, Gardner Minshew and.
Well, here's the deal. Gardner Minshew was tested and had a positive. But in reality, COVID was scared of Gardner Minshew. So COVID just went away from Gardner Minshew. So the Stashmanian Devil, as our buddy Daniel has his team name. I think we went over the Stashmanian Devils roster a few weeks ago when we did the original part of this. Darrell stepped away for a minute, but while we are here, we run our league on myfantasyleague.com, our listener league. We have huge rosters, huge taxi squads, injured reserved. They have a COVID injured reserve designation they've added. And like I said, fully customizable. I know some people, are like, oh, it's hard to navigate. If you're in a league for a year, play around with it, you get used to it. And once you're used to it, it's a breeze. You know where everything is. It's easy. You can customize everything. You can get custom graphics made by, other people that do that. I'm not really great with the graphics and things, but other people are very good with the graphics and can figure that stuff out. But yeah, it's definitely my favorite place to play fantasy football. Darrell, I guess, might be out for an extended time here. But that's pretty much that as far as that goes. We also want to thank My Fantasy League for sponsoring the IDP Guys Invitational, which kicked off on Saturday. That was, some of the divisions came out stumbling a little bit, but for the most part, everybody has been picking and getting in there, and which is great to see everybody enjoying their teams. I'm enjoying my team. I think my team is pretty good. As far as some other teams, the blue division, we're trolling, we're strolling along. I was going to say trolling along, but looking at the blue division here, we are in the trying to draft up here. The blue division is in the beginning of the 9th round, and most of the other drafts are in the 8th, 10th. We got an 8, a 6. So what division is this here? It's Zach's division here. I think that's the division that everybody wanted to speed up here. We got a 7th. We got a 9th. So, nobody's too slow. But everybody is moving along with their picks. I'm up again probably tomorrow. We have some we have a Brit on the clock right now, so probably in bed already, considering it's probably like midnight or something over there. So we'll get to pick again tomorrow, probably. But my roster, looking at it so far, I started out with Deshaun Watson, and then in the second round I had picked up Travis Kelce. And then I went hard at running back and wide receiver. I got Gurley and Mark Ingram, Amari Cooper and Mike Evans. Then my last 2 picks, I went all defense. I went Bobby Wagner and Budda Baker. I had a chance to get Jamal Adams instead of Budda Baker, but I went with Budda. I don't say I tried to diversify, but I have Budda as my number 1 DB, and that doesn't change with the change of Seattle. And doubling up on Seattle defenders, if you have a bad week, it could backfire. So I don't really prescribe to that too much, but I did go with Budda there. As far as the IDP Listener League that we have going on, we finished out the draft. As far as who I ended up with in the draft, I'm not sure we started the rookie draft when we talked last. I got Zach Moss, Brandon Ayuk, Justin Jefferson. And then on the defensive side of the ball, I got Neville Gallimore, Julian Aquara, Willie Gay, and Xavier McKinney, and also Tavian Feaster, J.J. Taylor, and Brandon Jones as some of my lesser, dart throws, if you will, as far as that. So we did not get a chance to talk about Darrell's roster. I think we left off with the Stashmanian Devil is where we kind of wrapped up our conversation last time around, which was about halfway through.
Sorry, man. Had a issue.
That's all right. I've been killing time. I talked about my IDP guys' invitational roster.
Sorry, I didn't mean to leave like it. Just had an issue real quick.
That's all right. And who I drafted in the Listener League. So, were there any other news and notes to cover besides?
Let's see. We talked about the opt-outs. Steelers linebacker Vince Williams, the coach has said, the defensive coordinator, I forget his name, but he said that Williams is going to start inside next to Devin Bush.
Not a huge surprise, but
no, I mean Barron's gone, but I kind of wonder if Edmonds is going to come down in the box some, maybe limit some of that.
If you're relying on Vince Williams, you're in trouble anyway.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. If you're relying on him, you're in trouble. But I will say that I went around, the first of this week and was looking at some of my rosters, and I had a couple where I needed linebackers, and I looked at waivers, and surprisingly, he was out there.
Yeah, I have grabbed him in a couple places out of necessity. And
I think I got him for dirt cheap in an auction where you bid. So, I mean, if the value's there, he can give you some good value, but not somebody I'm really pursuing.
He's not, but I'm in a 32-team league, and I needed a linebacker, and he was there, and there's nobody out there. So I was like, I'll take Vince Williams, and he'll give me something. I mean,
yeah, he's a good depth piece, if nothing else. I mean, starter. I mean, that's what you're looking for. So Bradley Chubb is ready to be, or he says he'll be ready week 1 after that ACL tear from last year. The Saints signed Nigel Bradham, who was a former Eagle, and word is that he's going to maybe rotate with Kiko Alonso down there in New Orleans.
Well, that's good. Between the two of them, they can maybe finish the season.
Right. And then 2 more things. Marcus Golden re-signed with the Giants. I think everybody kind of figured that was going to happen. He had 10 sacks for him last year, so
he was some kind of exclusive rights free agent or something.
Yeah, something about that. Don't hold me to it because I can't remember. I guess where he didn't get signed in free agency, they still had some kind of right to him, which means they could re-sign him for whatever. I'd have to look at it again, but only a 1-year, $5 million deal for somebody that's going to get you double-digit sacks probably. I mean, he had 10 last year, so it's pretty good value for them. I mean, with the incentives and everything, he can make 5. And then the last piece of news is Vic Beasley has still not showed up to Titans camp.
Why is he not showing up, dude?
We don't know. I mean, I've been tuned in all week, literally listening to this, and it's becoming a shit show, for lack of a better term. Apparently, on the 31st, they hadn't heard from him, and he finally talked to John Robinson, said he was going to report or whatever, and here we are on the 5th, 6 days later, and he's still not showed up. It was funny. They actually had a press conference like they do every day, most teams, and they asked Vrabel about it, and he said, I've not heard from him. And he's not been in contact. Nobody knows where he's at. Word is that he's not answering his phone. I was against it to begin with, signing him, because he's had some issues showing up before with Atlanta. I think all of this is done is it's going to drive the price up for Clowney, which I think they're ultimately probably going to wind up signing. It's going to cost them more because of this bull crap. But for Beasley, nobody knows really. We'll find out tomorrow if he's opting out, because that's the deadline. So, but if you're opting out, I don't know why you would say, "Hey, I'm going to opt out," and I just don't understand. But he's been a no-show, and nobody's even heard from him basically. So, be interesting to see what plays out there. It's kind of like somebody said, "Well, why don't you cut him?" And they were talking on the radio. Well, if you cut him, you lose all that money that you signed him to. At least if you keep him on your roster and he doesn't show up or whatever, then maybe you can fight it, try to recoup some of that signing bonus at a later date. So, but yeah, the Beasley signing has been a mess, and Titans fans around the world are they're literally kind of pissed off about it. I mean, even his teammates are like, they kind of ask him, they're like, well, our locker room will take care of any issues that's had. And Vrabel's like, everybody's here but him. So he's not even come in for his COVID testing yet. So, even if he does show up, he's got to do the 3 or 4 days of COVID. He's so far behind right now. So remains to be seen, I guess.
Yeah, it seems like a really strange situation.
It is. I mean, he's not even talking to anybody.
I haven't really been watching a whole lot of NFL Network this week. Been busy with a ton of other stuff going on.
Yeah, I've been trying to listen to the local radio stations for, Tennessee one day and whoever the next day, trying to stay tuned in. And, man, this Vic Beasley it's an NFL thing right now because everybody's talking about it.
Yeah. And, well, we have one less left to pay in the Autism Speaks Eliminator because somebody just paid. So,
yes.
So that's good. Any other news?
Nope, that's it for our news and notes.
That's it. So like we said before, the opt-out date is tomorrow at 4, or by the time you're listening to this, today at 4 o'clock. So we should know. Now, there are instances where players can still opt out if they choose, but they would have to be extenuating circumstances in order for them to get paid. I also did hear something really kind of messed up, that the money that they're giving these guys is really just a loan that they have to pay it back next year when they're under regular contract. But that's what I heard. I'm not sure. Again, this is Twitter reporting, so it's maybe not 100% true. But if that's the case, it's a salary advance.
I heard an interesting take today on, I forget which local radio station it was. I don't know if it was the Titans Nashville or one of the other teams. I've been flipping back and forth, but they were talking about Tre'Davious White considering opting out, and they're thinking, they made the comment, well, what if this is a contract ploy? Quotation marks. Does a team like Buffalo say, hey, and you're looking at players like Tre'Davious White, who's in that 4th year or final year of their rookie contract, and you're thinking, does the Bills come say, well, we know you're not necessarily sick, but you have concerns. How about if we go ahead and get you re-signed to a longer deal and make sure you're there, kind of type thing. So one of the other guys kind of mentioned, he said, anytime you make a rule or a loophole or whatever, there's always going to be people that test it or try to take advantage of it. While that's not what it's intended for, they try to maneuver or wiggle it in their favor. And not saying that's what Tre'Davious White's doing. I'm not saying that. I'm just using him as an example. But it was kind of interesting take.
You're always opening up the floodgates for anytime you make a rule or a law, there's somebody there trying to figure out how to game the system.
Right.
And I'm not saying White's trying to game the system.
Yeah, me either.
Anytime you try to make a law or a rule, there are people in this world that all they live to do is to find a way around it.
Yeah, so, exactly.
That's the
whether
way
it's the agents or the players or whatever, somebody's going to try to bend that rule, you know.
Yeah, somebody was talking today. I think it was Waltner was talking today about the Logan Ryan signing and then opting out or something with the cap. Like, I don't know. It was something crazy like that. So here's and we're just going to go over. I know we went over some of these last week, but we're just going to hit the IDP side of things for the most part. Star Lutulele, we talked about last week. Eddie Vanderdoes, I think we talked about on Friday night, possibly. Lorente McCray for Jacksonville. I don't think that was a huge guy. We talked about Dante Hightower.
Yes.
And Dante Hightower's on the regular list. This is the voluntary opt-outs that are regular. These guys are getting $150,000 advance on their salary for this year is how that's worded. It's the other brackets that are a little different. But Dante Hightower's on that one. And that's it for the defensive guys on the regular opt-out list. The high-risk opt-out list includes Christian Miller from the Carolina Panthers, Michael Pierce from the Minnesota Vikings, and Caleb Brantley from the Washington football team. Those were the high-risk guys. And then they're unspecified, meaning that they didn't, I guess, say whether or not they're high-risk or not, or it hasn't been determined. Jordan Mack from the Panthers, Eddie Goldman from the Bears, Andrew Billings for the Browns, Kyle Pecco for the Broncos, John Atkins for the Lions. Geronimo Allison is an offensive guy, but he was out. 3 Colts today: Sky Moore, Roland Milligan, and Marvell Tell. I mean, Sky Moore, we thought big things about before.
Boy, we missed on him, didn't we?
He looked awesome.
I know. I'm with you.
With Leonard against the Seahawks in the preseason, but I guess that's.
And they cut him, and he. I don't know if he went somewhere else or just kind of hung out there, and then they brought him back, and it's just not – the stars have not aligned for him. So, all
right, let's finish the list here. Ukeme Uligwe, I just want to pronounce that, for the Raiders. Patrick Chung, DJ Killings. What a name that is.
Who?
DJ Killings. He's a DB for the Raiders, apparently.
Not sure who that is.
I don't know who it is either. Cool name, though. Patrick Chung, we knew about. Sam Beal today for the Giants. And C.J. Mosley was the big one over the weekend that you already touched on. So those guys are all undisclosed. And we really don't know what designation they're having. But I
expect tomorrow to be a big boom of players with the deadline intact, because you got to declare. I mean, you've got to decide one way or another. So I think tomorrow the deadline's at 4. I think between noon and 4, that's when you're going to see the big push.
Probably. You know who's not on that list?
I knew that was coming.
I did get the iPad ready to do that just for you.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah. And also Russell Wilson's alter ego, Mr. Unlimited. Did you see that video?
I did.
He's kind of goofy, embarrassing sometimes.
He's funny. I find him really funny. I love his sense of humor. I mean, it's
I mean, he's goofy.
He doesn't show it a lot, but it's funny, man.
But I mean, and listening to him and somebody in the chat or the comment section underneath of the video said, I believe this guy believes this because of the way he talked on the sideline of the Packers Seahawks game when he threw like 4 interceptions in the first half. They were losing badly, and he brought them back to win the game.
Yep.
So it's like he doesn't believe in quit and things. So Mr.
And that's what makes him so good. That's what puts him in that elite conversation.
Yeah. And it's a good thing he doesn't give up, because there's so many games that I'm watching that I'm like,
he never gives up, dude. He never gives up. I mean,
you're never out of a game with Russell Wilson as your quarterback.
No.
Even if he has to do it all by himself, which he does sometimes.
He does. I mean, you can see it sometimes. I'm just like, I don't know where he's getting this from or where he pulls this out of his butt or whatever. You know, he never gives up.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of players you want, though.
It is. I love him. He's my quarterback. He's my quarterback.
Really? That's my quarterback.
Yeah. But anyway.
Oh, shoot.
Let's move on to what we don't want to talk too much about the COVID player thing, but it is interesting to see who's opting out and kind of a next man up. I mean, Dante Hightower is really the only starter. I mean, Patrick Chung, I guess, too. But, like, there's no real starters that have opted out. I mean,
Mosley.
Yeah, and I guess Mosley. But I think we got so used to Mosley not being there that I kind of – we all had Cashman already on our rosters. We all had
Neville Hewitt. Who's the other guy? They got one more.
Williamson could be.
Yeah, but he's still kind of injured, so it'll be interesting to see if he makes it back in time for the start of the season. Or I read somewhere, the Jets could save $6.5 million against the cap this year if they cut him.
They very well could. Like I said,
is that an option? But I kind of doubt it. If he's healthy, I don't see them cutting him, especially with Mosley being opted out.
I said the other day in a group chat, I said, if I had to play for Adam Gase, I might opt out too.
Oh, you mean Mr. Googly Eyes?
Yeah.
Our buddy John DeBari has that has that as his avatar, and I swear that shit cracks me up every time, dude. Every time he posted something in the chat, I laugh because I know I'm looking at it.
Like, I don't know, like, he's just such a weird dude. Like,
he is, man. He is so weird.
And
so weird.
Players hate him. Like, some of them really love playing for him, or they just don't want to get benched. I don't know if they,
It makes you wonder how he got a job to start with.
How he got the second job is how I wonder. How did he get the Jets job? I mean, given your first job as a good coordinator. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, he showed none of those signs as a coordinator. It's like when he became
he was a loser in Miami. And then the Jets said, we have to have this guy.
Loser.
I don't get it.
Anyway, I don't get it either, but whatever.
Moving forward. There was something I was going to say, but I can't remember.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right. So looking at our listener league here, we're going to kind of break down the second half of our teams. I think we left off with the Stashmanian Devil,
yes,
if I'm not mistaken, because we did 7. We'll do the other 7 briefly. We're not going to go super in depth. But quarterbacks, he's basically looking at the Minshew Mania and then some other stuff, to put it nicely. He does have Jacob Eason on his bench, on his taxi squad, which doesn't help him. He has Ryan Fitzpatrick and Nick Foles, so he might have half a quarterback for half the season. So he's reliant on the Minshew magic to ride or die with, basically. Taysom Hill could be a spot start if needed, if he needs a quarterback, but he's going to be starting one quarterback, it looks like, most of the season.
Right.
Could hurt you in Superflex, definitely. Looking at running backs, he's got Kerryon Johnson is his Top guy.
His top guy? Ugh.
That's a little. I mean, he doesn't.
That's rough.
He has Keyshawn Vaughn in his taxi squad, so he could end up being his top starter if that's the way it shakes out. He also has LaShawn McCoy, who he took in the 53rd round, which actually was a steal because he was on the street in the 53rd round.
Oh, God, yeah. 53.03, that's definite good value. I mean, if nothing else, he steals a few 8 to 10 touches per game, I think, maybe.
He also has Jerick McKinnon, Justin Jackson, Jordan Howard. I guess Jordan Howard's probably his top running back. Yeah, I would go Howard then I would go Howard and McCoy maybe. I mean, Naheem Hines is good too, but he's not like a bell cow.
Yeah, but with Taylor in town, that killed him. So
he doesn't have a true bell cow, but he's got a lot of guys that will play. Anthony McFarland, he also drafted. So I mean, injuries and COVID could reap him some rewards there. He did load up on the wide receivers. He got Michael Thomas. He got Allen Robinson. He got DJ Moore. He got Cooper Kupp. So he's rolling his wide receiver.
Yeah, he's rolling deep at wide receiver. Yeah.
And I think basically his first 4 picks were receivers. It looks like so he loaded up on the receivers end. Tight end, Goddard, Herndon, Griffin. Logan Thomas is a sneaky one. He got him in the 40th round, and he's the projected starter for the Washington.
Oh, my God. Did you just say Logan Thomas?
He's a projected starter for a
football team. God, I can't with you.
With crappy quarterback play that's going to target the tight end.
Dude, he's been in the league for 50 years. He ain't done a damn thing. Come on.
He has been in the league for 3 years. This is his 4th year.
I can't with you.
He started old. He's very
I can't
old.
With you.
League, but just telling you the facts here.
Just the facts, ma'am. Just the facts.
Jim. He's got Kenny Clark at D tackle, Vita Vea and Dalvin Tomlinson backing him up basically. It's a start 2, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, so he's going to probably start. I don't know. I'd go Tomlinson and Kenny Clark. Defensive end wise, he's got Joey Bosa. He's got Emmanuel Ogbah. Aldon Smith could be a sneaky play if he is reinstated, if he can return to any type of form that he used to have.
Yep. Dwayne Smoot could be sneaky if Ngakoue doesn't show up.
Like Ngakoue showing up. Justin Houston's there too, and Josh Sweat. Looking at linebackers, Devin Bush, Blake Cashman, we just mentioned Tremaine Edmonds, Cole Holcomb are probably going to be the starters. Ryan Connolly, forgotten man, if he stays healthy, could be a player. Corner, Jalen Ramsey and Marshawn Lattimore and Rock Ya-Sin. So, you got a bunch of guys you could pretty much start based on matchups and cover your bye weeks. Safeties, Byard, John Johnson and Marcus May and Anthony Harris. So he's got 4 viable safety starters. On his taxi squad, you mentioned Eason and Vaughn. He's also got CeeDee Lamb. So he is loaded at receiver.
Yeah, he is.
Adam Troutman, he got Zach Bond, Tanner Muse, and Ashton Davis. Any other comments about the roster?
No. I think we've pretty much touched on everything.
Let's go to the worst roster in the league.
No, come on.
At Hollywood. We got the old man River Brady. Hopefully Jalen Hurts gets a job, or else you're kind of screwed at quarterback for a while.
Nah, I'm good.
Jimmy G and Tom Brady.
Jimmy GQ, baby. Jimmy GQ.
And Jalen Hurts is your basically only other quarterback.
And he's going to start games. I'm just saying. I love Carson Wentz. I'm one of his biggest fans, but let's face it. The dude can't. Well, I'm just saying. You got to be real. Keep it real here. Yeah. He gets nicked up. He gets banged up. He always misses a couple games. So I can see Hurts starting a few games. I really can. That was a good pick by Philadelphia. I mean, that was smart because they're thinking exactly the same thing I am. Because they lost the playoff game last year because they didn't have a viable backup because Wentz was out. So I mean,
Moving on to your running backs, Josh Jacobs was your top, and Alvin Kamara are your top dogs. Both
AK-47.
Both by week 6.
Yeah, that's going to suck.
Hopefully, DeAndre Swift is starting by then. You can at least have one running back. But yeah, you got decent running backs. I mean, like I said, except for that bye week, you're kind of screwed in that bye week. But
yeah,
it happens. You could start Devontae Booker and hope he gets like a screen pass for 100 yards or something. Jamal Williams will get some play.
Yeah, he will.
I know everybody's all about Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, but Jamal Williams is still there. He's still viable.
Mm-hmm. And he gets hated on a lot, I guess because Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Jones does so well. But the last few years, Jamal's kind of got pushed to the side. Oh, he's not going to do this. He's not going to do that. And he always seems to carve out a role, start a couple games here and there.
So here's a question for you. Who the hell is Patrick Taylor and why did you draft him?
Patrick Taylor is a running back from Memphis. Played wide receiver and running back. Well, he was a running back, but caught a ton of passes down there. And I think you can see Washington doing the same thing. They need talent. Darius Geis and AP is going to be your running back, so I could see them maybe splitting him out or whatever.
You got the wrong guy. This is Patrick Taylor in Green Bay Packers. You're thinking of Antonio Gibson.
Oh, yeah, that is Gibson. But Taylor did play for Memphis.
He did. I just bring him up because he does not have a picture on MFL, nor does he have a height or a weight listed.
I think he may have been the one that got hurt. He's a decent running back. He really was for Memphis, and he missed some of the games last year.
Gotcha. You drafted him in the 6th round, and I'm like, who is like –
it's a flyer, man. I mean, if they don't re-sign Jones,
nobody's going to take him.
You don't know what's going to – yeah, but I was – look at my running backs. I was kind of hurting on running backs, so I needed that depth. And he's worth the flyer. I mean, in the 6th round, come on.
All right, moving on, your wide receivers, A.J. Brown.
Yes.
C.Y. And then, oh, man.
Larry Fitz is still good.
For a year. You're lucky. We're all lucky he's coming back for one more year. He's not coming back.
But in the 15th round, that's good value.
It is, but
Josh Gordon, if he can get his head out of his butt in round 30, that's great value.
You don't have any taxi stashes either, so yeah.
Yeah. The one that hurt me was Alan Hearns. He was okay, so he's on the COVID thing. So
I think you could get Josh weed is legal Gordon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If he gets his head out of his ass, that's a good play. I got him in round 30, so it's not like I took him high. It's a flyer pick, more or less.
Yeah. But, yeah, you're hurting a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Tight end, Hayden Hurst is a good pick. Waller the baller. Tyler Eifert if he stays healthy. Greg Olsen in his last season.
Yeah, Greg Olsen's a good 1 year.
Jason Witten, who I've seen so many funny memes about in the last 24 hours. You got his picture in the booth, and they got the picture of the Oakland Raiders, looking like hide your wife.
You just hate on him because he's a Tennessee boy, that's all.
I don't hate on Jason Witten. He's had a long and prosperous NFL career.
He has, man. His brother, true fact, his brother coaches high school ball in Elizabethton, which is about hour and a half east of me. And his brother's a really good football coach up there. Takes his team to the playoffs every year. Just FYI.
Guess a lot of football knowledge in that family. Just don't have Jason do the games because
right, he's not a good play-by-play man, is he?
He's just a tight end. Journalism isn't in his future, I don't think. I think ESPN saw the $50 million face and didn't realize that speaking is part of the job.
Yeah,
he didn't really do a whole lot of that through his career. I mean, he was okay. I won't completely bury him. He was okay.
No, yeah, he did all right. I don't think he was really in his element, but he did all right.
Yeah, a guy like Greg Olsen, he has personality and charisma.
Oh, yeah. Now, he's definitely going to make it as an announcer. Yeah.
Maybe I don't know if you ever watched the All or Nothing on the Carolina Panthers. Like, just listening to him. He's just like a relaxed. Like he's the ultimate like, hey man, I'm just happy to be where I am. You know, like
yeah,
like he's loving life. Like he's got like I don't know. He's kind of like your surfer dude. That's like
exactly, yeah.
But definitely has the charisma to join the booth, I think. So you have the old. I noticed one thing about your team. It's very old.
Yeah, I went with some veterans. I did.
So you better start drafting better next year.
I will. I drafted pretty good this year. Come on.
Tackle, you got Hurst, Sue, Malik Jackson, Shy Tuttle. Defense. Yeah. He doesn't play that much. He's all right. You got Frank Clark, Cleveland Farrell, Darrell Taylor you took in the draft, and Jason Pierre-Paul.
Like my defensive ends, got Kyle Phillips. He's a good low-end guy for the Jets. He'll be fine. So,
yeah. I have him in a couple leagues. Linebackers. Do you know we can only start 3 of these things, right?
You can never have too many linebackers, Dan.
It's great. You got 50 of them.
Well, it doesn't matter. We've been down this road before. I will trade a linebacker to somebody for a piece I need. Don't doubt me because I've pulled this off before.
So the only linebacker on this list that anybody's going to give you anything for is the big man, maniac, Darius Leonard. Nobody's going to give you crap for Oren Burks, Lorenzo Carter, Kyle Fackrell, Jalen Ferguson. No, you're getting nothing for those guys.
No. Greenlaw's a good piece.
Greenlaw's a decent piece, but I don't know you're going to get much for him right now. I wouldn't give you a whole ton for a guy that's –
See, I love it when you doubt me like this because you doubted me like this once before and it worked out in my favor. So you just keep on hating.
You try. Josie Jules apparently washed up and gone.
Yeah, although I missed on him.
AJ Johnson you got.
Yep.
Micah Kaiser, I guess, could be something.
Yep. Holding on to him one more time.
Khalil Mack as a linebacker shouldn't be a linebacker. He should be in your defensive end list.
True, but I think with Robert Quinn, that'll help him. So, who I also have.
You do have Robert Quinn. You have Von Miller. You have a crap load of Denver and Chicago here.
Yeah, I know.
Landon Roberts ain't nothing. Whitney Merciless. I mean, Von Miller and Whitney Merciless aren't bad. It's just they're inconsistent because they're sacrilege. Looking at corners.
Oh, your favorite position, corners.
Actually, I picked up Jamel Dean today in a 32-team league. Because
he's a pass deflection freak, man.
That's what I saw. 17 pass deflections.
Yeah, he is a monster right there.
So I snagged him because I was like, if he can get like 10 of those, I'll be all right. I already have corners. So he's just a depth piece for me there. But, I mean, in the 33rd round of like a 32-team single copy league, they ain't bad.
Yep.
You got the Jackrabbit, Janoris Jenkins.
And Marcus Peters.
Well, and Marcus Peters, he's okay. He's not what he used to be.
No.
He had a better season last year once he got out of L.A.
You know, and I wrote an article on there was, I think, 5 players that had 5 interceptions and plus or 15 pass deflections plus. And the Jackrabbit was one of them. And Marcus Peters just missed. I think he had the 5 interceptions, but he only had 14 pass deflections. So I feel good with those. I'll take those guys. Brian Poole, he's a good blitzer off the edge. So Mike Hilton, same thing for the Steelers. They like to blitz him. So I'll take it. I'm good with it.
You got Jamal Adams, Minka Fitzpatrick, and Taylor
Rapp. I got your boy, Jamal.
He wasn't my boy when you drafted him, but yes. And you stuck to the brand. You took Rayshon Jenkins.
I did.
Just for fun.
That's the one where you commended me on. I'm like, this is for you, Dan.
Besides your wide receivers, not too bad.
Taylor Rapp, I got him. He's the baller.
Well, yeah, I'm saying overall, it seems not bad, except your wide receivers are a little.
Yeah, well,
scary. You got a bunch of boom bust guys like Deshaun Jackson could be huge.
Yeah, he could be lightning in a bottle for sure.
5 weeks too. I mean, A.J. Brown was a little bit of that last year. I mean, he was. I mean, he was. I mean, it was his rookie season, so you expect some measure of growth. But
don't be hating on A.J. Brown.
I'm not. I'm just telling you he is maybe a little bit like the same. Because you say, you know, if your team has to rely on Ryan Tannehill, we're in trouble.
Which I think is true. I mean, all jokes aside, I mean, if Tannehill can do what he did last year, great, we're in good shape because what he did was enough to allow Derrick Henry to be who he was, allow A.J. Brown to be who he is, and that's what Tennessee wants to do. They want to run and pound the ball and play defense, and then everything else is just gravy. So
let's move on to Peter Randall's team.
Who?
Cortinas. Peter what the Cortinas are.
I know. I've never asked him that. I need to.
His team name in every league we're in.
I know, right?
To know what it means. Like if it's I guess it's something Australian or like a
I'm sure he'll tell us.
Yeah. Hit us up. Let us know what that is, what that's in reference to here. But anyway, quarterback wise, got Philip Rivers, Aaron Rodgers, and Jared Goff. I think 3 solid guys. I mean, Rivers is probably on his last year. Rodgers probably has 3 or 4. Goff is a young guy, but he could see his way out of. I mean, if the Rams don't start winning again, they might try to get rid of that contract.
I don't remember. Was you a big Goff guy when he come out? Because I wasn't.
I was not.
Yeah. I mean, he's doing okay, I guess, for what they want, but I think they could be a lot better if they had a better quarterback.
I mean, he's had 2 straight 4,600-year passing. I mean, he's had a whole lot more attempts this year because they were losing so often. He wasn't as efficient. He turned the ball over more. So, I mean, it just wasn't a good year. And yeah. McVay has had a ton of time to fix that, hopefully. And maybe they did. Or not hopefully. Did you go to the ocean or something? I don't know. You got some kind of background noise going on over there.
Might be the fan blowing.
Sweat. Sacrifice. Anyway, running back wise, Dalvin Cook, my cousin. Not really.
Really, your cousin? Really? Come on, dude.
Maybe somewhere along the way. Maybe 10th cousin first removed, something or other.
10th cousin first removed.
Matt Breida, J.K. Dobbins.
Love J.K. Dobbins. That's a great pick for you. Love that.
He had Damian Williams until he opted out, too. So,
yeah.
Chase Edmonds could see a lot of time. Dare Ogunbowale has been one of Tom's targets. He was apparently came to Derek Jeter's house to practice with Tom. So,
right.
See how that works out. Wide receiver wise, pretty decent stable here. Keenan Allen, Chris Godwin, Tyler Lockett, Michael Pittman. He got in the rookie draft.
I like him. Good pick.
I like Adam Humphries. Paris Campbell he picked up too. But I like Adam Humphries as a third down outlet for.
Yeah, I don't know. He was kind of hurt last year, so we didn't kind of see what he's going to do or be in that offense. So maybe we'll see more of that this year.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Tight end wise, not a lot of depth. He's got Njoku, Everett, and Burton.
Peter. Trey Burton, my friend. Come on.
Well, it's only start one, so he's only got to start Njoku or Everett probably.
I think you got to start Everett, though, right? Every week? Well, I think you do. And him and Njoku are on the same bye, so you got to start Burton that week. So.
Well, he also has Cole Kmet and Harrison Bryant, so he did supplement those in the draft.
Oh, yeah, on his taxi. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he could bring a guy up to play in that week. And Cole Kmet probably should be the starter by week 9.
Who did he go to? Bears? No.
Bears. Yes.
Yeah, Bears, yeah.
Bears, they're 90.
Get Bears.
I mean, they signed Jimmy Graham, but he's not any good anymore.
God, man, he fell off a cliff quick, didn't he?
You could argue that his time, as soon as he was traded off the Saints, he started declining.
Yeah, man. I mean, he was a baller in New Orleans.
He had like a 1.5 decent seasons with Seattle, but he really was not what we traded for or expected to trade for. And it has a lot to do with the offensive scheme. I mean, we were asking him to block, which
true.
You don't get Jimmy Graham and ask him to block.
No, because that's not what he does. I mean, you're right. That's not who he is.
And that's one thing that, sometimes, we say, oh, the fans, you don't know what a scout, see and stuff. I know enough football to know that Jimmy Graham doesn't like blocking and doesn't want to block. He wants to catch the damn football. So
right.
Why are you making the block all the time? I mean, I know.
I mean, and when he was at his best in New Orleans, they didn't make him block either. I mean, that's not what he does. These tight ends that are very good for fantasy, very few of them like block most of the time. And it changes. I mean, it really depends on what you're doing. If you're like, let's say, well, I won't even go there because I started to say if you're a running team like Tennessee, you want those big blocking tight ends.
You do because it's an extra offensive lineman practically on the field.
But if you're a passing team like Kansas City or San Francisco, you're not which George Kittle, by the way, can block his ass off. He is the exception, but those guys are not really what you're asking them to do. You want them to stretch the field down the seams and make those and be a safety safety for your quarterback on hot routes and stuff. So, the days of 280-pound tight ends that can block are kind of falling by the wayside, I think.
All right, we got to keep moving or else we're never making it.
Yeah, I get carried away, I know.
You start talking about your Titans and eating Dream World. So,
oh, Jesus Christ.
David Bryan, Ogunjobi, Harrison Phillips, Jerron Reed, pretty solid stable.
Yep. Love Jerron Reed. I think he's a good one.
Defensive ends, we got Max Crosby.
Yes.
And some older depth guys. Trent Murphy. Actually, Trent Murphy's not that old.
Yeah, he's not too bad.
Brian Kerrigan is the old man in the group.
Right.
So he's one stud, and he's going to supplement with his other guys.
Yeah, I think Kerrigan will still have some good go. I mean, he may not be the starter, but he'll still put up some good points.
He's got a Menahue and Ben Ogu on the bench.
By the way, I love O'Menahue. I think with Clowney out of the picture, he has got to take a step forward this year with J.J. Watt.
Sacking's not his thing. It's not going to be his thing. I know you say J.J. Watt's technically a defensive end, and we're in a 3-4, but he really plays edge.
Okay, I'm not saying it.
Menahue doesn't really play outside. He's not going to because you're going to have Merciless or Scarlett or whoever outside of him rushing because.
Yeah, but that's. I see O'Menahue, and I've been listening to the Houston radio. They're high on O'Menahue too. I mean, they think he's going to be the one that. Well,
I'm not saying shouldn't be high on him. I'm just saying sack-wise, the ceiling is not high.
But was it for Clowney? I mean, Clowney didn't have a lot of high sacks.
Clowney isn't playing the same spot that Menahue is. Whitney Merciless is playing that spot.
Okay, I'll give you that.
So it's you can't compare Clowney to Menahue because they're not doing the same things in that defense. But anyway, moving on. It's Kamiko Toure is also on the team. We got linebacker Avery Williamson. We'll see about him. Corey Littleton, Deion Jones, Jamie Collins, probably be your 3 starters. Also have Taki, Okereke, and Kaiser White, Josh Bond.
Right.
He took a flyer on Alec Ogletree late.
Yep.
I don't mind that. If he signed somewhere, he could be useful.
And he's got Jacob Phillips.
They did draft Jacob Phillips.
How do you feel about him, by the way? Because I've seen a lot of questions on Phillips the last week or so.
He's probably going to be a starter in base packages, it looks like, from what I can see on the depth charts and things.
Right.
It's going to be a wait and see because I think last year it was Schobert there and Mac Wilson mixing in. We thought, I guess Mac Wilson will be the heir here, or they'll sign somebody. They never signed anybody.
Nope. So I think that puts Mac Wilson as the starter. And in that situation, I really like Jacobs. I think he's a good stash.
Kentucky could be the second. I mean, the third guy, I think Phillips, for at least the first couple games, is not going to see third down work.
Right.
So we'll see. Corner-wise, he got some good ones. Desmond King and Jonathan Jones.
He only took 3, but, man, he nailed it with 2 of them with Murphy and King.
Greedy on his taxi squad because I think we allowed the first 2 or 3 seasons.
Greedy Williams. I didn't know who that was. You didn't say tackle by a shoestring. I didn't understand who you were talking about.
It was Justin Coleman as well. So
that's a vol. Good job.
He was on COVID, but he's no longer there. So Peter, fix your roster. Come on.
Warning, Peter, you have a rule violation.
Yeah. And safety-wise, Keanu Neal, Malcolm Jenkins, Kenny Vaccaro took a shot on Rashad Jones.
He did. He needs to drop him because he's done.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever playing again.
Yeah.
It's funny. He got safety Terrell Burgess on.
I like that. That's a good pick. A lot of people don't talk about him, but I like that pick.
I talk about him all the time. I feel like I talk about him too much. He also has James Prochet, which I read he may return kicks, which could mean lifetime because if you are on special teams, you're suiting up. Now, that's not a heavy passing offense for them, so I'm not really expecting a whole lot. But, hey, the starter's a starter. Next, the Valyrian Titans with Todd here.
I like the name, Vols and Titans. Can't go wrong with that, baby.
He took a lot of shots here because I think he took Cam before the signing.
He did?
Or right after the signing. I can't remember.
I think he got him before. I really do. 11th round, that's great value for a potential starter.
5th. So he was kind of hung out to dry at quarterback.
Yeah.
So
not sure I would have drafted Andrew Luck. I mean, he's doing.
Well, you never say never.
Yeah,
that was a
45th I know.
And, stranger things have happened. I mean, Michael Jordan sat in front of us and said he's done. And a few years later, what happened? Michael Jordan's wearing 45, and you never know.
You never know.
He did take Jordan Love in the rookie draft. Jeff Driscoll, I think, is a good pick because if Drew Lock gets hurt, it's Driscoll's game. I mean, they also have Brent.
And he started some games. Was it Cincinnati last year? He started some games.
That was a couple years ago. He was in Detroit last year.
Okay, so I guess it was 2 years ago because I think it was the year that Dalton got hurt. I think a little bit or benched.
He also has Tyrod, who he will, I guess, be starting with Cam Newton possibly week 1 to be the super flex, but he did not get
Marcus Mariota. He's going to start some games.
See, you're the guy that Derek Carr is talking about. Disrespecting.
I'm just saying. No, I'm not disrespecting Carr. I'm just saying that if he can't take a step forward, they're going to. They didn't. Okay, I'm just saying.
Derek Carr and the Bosa's are going to come riding up to your crib.
I wish they would. I got something for them. You're an instigator, Dan. I don't like you tonight. You're instigating.
Running backs. Jeffrey Wilson. Nah, I'm just kidding. Joe Mixon is pretty much it. I mean,
what about the rumor if he opts out? I've heard that.
I haven't heard that.
It was in one of my chats. I'll have to see if I can find the tweet. But there was a rumor that maybe he opts out tomorrow. Well, that's a huge piece if he falls out.
I think that has a lot to do with he wants a contract.
See, there's that thing I was talking about again.
But he has Alexander Madison, who is the direct backup.
Damian Harris, I think he's a good
Damian Harris, yeah, I mean, he did not play last year, basically. He also has Rashad Penny. I mean, there's 3 question marks and a stud. So,
yeah.
Wide receiver wise, looks like he loaded up at wide receiver as well. Got Hollywood Brown, Tyreek Hill, Deontay Johnson.
Can't go wrong with anybody named Hollywood. I'm just saying.
And he looked a lot better when Albert Wilson was not opting out.
Right.
Steven Sims is a decent option. John Ross, so he has some options. KJ Osborne might return some kicks, so he's an option for dressing on days. Joe Reed could be the slot guy for the Chargers. Scotty Miller could be the slot guy for Tampa Bay and Tom's favorite target because Tom can't throw more than 5 yards anymore.
TB12, get it right.
Anthony Miller, and also has the curious case of Antonio Brown.
Oh, yeah. Which I hear
real early.
I hear that Baltimore is really interested in him.
I heard Seattle's interested in him too.
Yeah.
Well,
nobody likes Seattle.
If the Baltimore connection, his nephew, I believe, is Hollywood Brown.
Yeah.
So
see, the thing with Brown, though, anybody that signs Brown, he has to sit 8 games already.
Well, he's suspended the first games, yes.
Yeah.
Somebody was joking around that Seattle should sign Josh Gordon, that when he's suspended after 8 weeks, sign Antonio Brown.
That's great.
I'm not sure how I feel about Seattle bringing Antonio Brown in. I mean, I guess it wins a Super Bowl. It doesn't matter, I guess. But
if he keeps his nose clean and his head straight, him and Tyler Lockett with Russell Wilson, are you kidding me?
You're getting DK Metcalf, too.
Oh, yeah, and DK. Yeah, those 3, oh, my God, get out of here. Who needs a run game? Russell Wilson will be your run game.
Let Russ cook. That's what Seattle. The Seattle fan base on Twitter has been tweeting. Let Russ cook for like.
Could you imagine the 4 receiver set of Brown, Josh Gordon, Tyler Lockett, and DK Metcalf with Greg Olsen at tight end? Get the frick out of here.
Prefer 2 of those guys, actually 3 of those guys, 5 years ago when they were in their prime. But
I'm just saying. If they can make it work, that would be deadly, dude.
Yep. Tight end wise, Tyler Higbee, the true tight end in Los Angeles land. Travis Kelce, and so he could start 2 tight ends to maybe make up for his lack of running back depth. D tackle wise, Javon Kinlaw was a rookie pick. Jaleel Johnson looking a lot better with Pierce opting out, and
oh yeah.
A week at D tackle, but he didn't really address the position at all in the draft. He waited to the rookie draft. He did address defensive end. Good Lord.
He is stacked.
Bosa, Daniel Hunter, and Chase Young.
And, he's got those 3, and he follows it up with Carl Lawson and Rashawn Green, which are not slouches. I mean, he is stacked.
You don't need those 2 if you have 3.
I know.
3 thoroughbred studs. Linebacker-wise, we're hurting here.
Well, he's got 1 top star, Zach Cunningham.
Yeah, you have Cunningham. I mean, you only need to start 3. You can only start max of 3. I would start the 3 defensive ends, to be honest. But
I think I would do, yeah.
Yeah, you have a lot of question marks. Mac Wilson's a question mark. Do we have high thoughts of him? Yes. He's a question mark still. Drew Tranquil, a question mark. Malik Harrison could be really good.
Yeah, I like Harrison.
Reuben Foster, can he come back healthy?
He's done.
Jordan Brooks, can he take over the job in Seattle?
I think he's a next year guy. I really do.
That's what I kind of think too. But, I mean, he has a lot of question marks, and like you said, Zach Cunningham is the guy.
Yeah, that's your stud right there. Who's my number 3 linebacker overall, by the way.
Oh.
Love Cunningham. I'm telling you, he's going to eat down there. Wait till he hits free agency.
Well, Well,
Ooh.
Bill O'Brien will give up $500 million to him or something because he doesn't know
hope
what
so.
contracts were.
Love Bill O'Brien, greatest GM in history.
Yeah. Corner, he's only got 2 of them. Who cares?
That's just wrong, Dan.
It's Bradbury and
He's got 2. Who cares? That's great.
Who cares? Yes, exactly. Marcus Williams, Ronnie Harrison, Grant Delpit, Jeremy Chin.
Ooh, love Jeremy Chin. I actually like Ronnie Harrison a lot too. Really do.
I've liked Ronnie Harrison for years. He's a steady safety. He really hasn't exploded a whole lot, but
he's a top 20 guy that's going to, with a safe floor, that's going to give you good production. Can't go wrong with that.
We got 3 more of these, so let's get through them here.
Okay.
Bob Long here with his team.
Ooh, Bob.
We got 2 studs at quarterback and a maybe. So we got Carson Wentz and Dak Prescott. Those 2 your studs, and then a maybe in Nick Mullins. If he ever gets an opportunity, I think he'll be pretty
I'm
good.
surprised somebody didn't trade for him.
I think with the Tua and Chicago went and got Nick Foles because they didn't want to.
True.
Some
Well, I mean, you always hear about these backups that come in and do so well, and then they're traded for starters the next year. I'm just surprised that somebody kind of didn't go that route.
Maybe. He also has Blaine Gabbert and Ryan Finley. Looking at running backs, kind of ignored the position. He did get Leonard Fournette, but in the rookie draft, he knew he was going to have the second pick.
He's got Austin Eckler too, though. So
that's true. He does have Austin Eckler. He has Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Austin Eckler, and Leonard Fournette.
Mostert is probably a pretty good RB2/3, I think.
Adrian Peterson could give you some weeks.
Yeah. So he's not too bad.
Really could give you some weeks too, as because
he could.
I don't think Edwards-Helaire is getting 100% snaps.
I don't think so either. I really don't.
He also has Brian Hill, who's the backup to Gurley currently. So we got some stuff there. Wide receivers. So scrolling through here.
His receivers need work.
Well, they're vets.
Well, he's got one that I like.
I mean, Edelman's going to get pelted with targets because they don't have anybody else. Cobb could get pelted with targets.
Right.
Beasley, slot receiver.
Yep.
AJ Green.
Love him if he's healthy. Love him.
If he's healthy, yeah. Marvin Jones.
I like Jones.
People hate.
He got him in the 15th round, so that's good value. I like that.
People hate on Marvin Jones. Emmanuel Sanders. People hate on Emmanuel Sanders. But in New Orleans, he's going to be good this year.
He's got Adam Thielen. What do you think about Thielen? I'm kind of down on him. I'm scared to take him right now.
Soured on him.
With Diggs out of the picture, you got to think Thielen is the true number 1 up there. But
he's
for whatever reason, I just don't feel it. I don't know what it is. I got a bad feeling.
I think he benefited from having Diggs there because it just split your attention. Whereas now it's Justin Jefferson hasn't done anything in this league. No offense to him, but
right. And I think Jefferson would be a good piece, but man, I think Thielen is a player that.
So I mean, he's
right now.
He followed what he preaches. He took his steady wide receivers, consistent.
Right.
God, you look at that list. I'm sure they're all very high on consistency.
Right.
When they're healthy. I mean, AJ Green wasn't healthy. But you also got Brian Edwards, who I love.
Brian Edwards is a beast.
Tight end wise, got Ertz, Hunter Henry.
Two good ones,
covered. I mean, Thaddeus Moss. He's got Cameron Brate if he ever escapes Tampa Bay. I guess he's not going to. D-tackle wise, Jeffrey Simmons.
Love him.
Daron Payne. I think he's pretty much good there. He's got 2 holdouts, though. That hurts.
Oh, yeah. Pierce and Goldman.
Yeah. Goldman both holding out. So he's got the depth there, though, that he shouldn't be hurt by it. But that just stinks to have 2 guys on one position group.
Yeah, that kind of hurts right there.
Linebacker, defensive end wise, Ngakoue, as long as he signs or plays, should be great. Cameron Hayward, another one. Jarrell Casey. I can see Casey's stats maybe coming down a little bit.
I don't know. I mean, you're playing him inside between Von Miller and Bradley Chubb. I'm just saying. I think I like him there. I really do. I hate it. He's a Bronco now, but I think he'll be fine right there.
He'll be okay. John Simon, a lot of people. I'm not high on John Simon.
Nick.
I mean, he'll get you a couple sacks. Nothing special. Linebackers. Again, he kind of didn't really address too much in the regular draft, and then instead went after it in got the stud in the rookie draft.
Oh, yeah, he did.
So we got Thomas Davis, again, steady as steady gets.
Burgess, that's the other New York Jet linebacker we forgot.
Yeah. Anthony Walker, steady.
He'll be okay.
Nick Vigil, I don't see him having much of a role.
I think he takes a step back.
Well, he signed there. I think with Murray, if Murray didn't go there, sure. Vigil has a role, but I don't think he has a role. At least not a prominent role. And he got Patrick Queen in the rookie draft. So I think he'll be fine. He's only got to start 2 to 3 linebackers, I think. So I think it's 2 of each position and 1 flex is what we decided.
Yep.
He has some good rookie corners. A Fuller, always good when you get a Fuller. Denzel Ward is a pretty decent, although he's been kind of getting that shutdown kind of tag, so he might start to see less.
He can't afford to lose White to this opt-out, though.
Well, I think he's got enough.
Well, I mean, he does, but I mean, White's your best scoring corner right there. Well, Fuller, but I think I'd take White over Fuller myself. But
yeah, now safety-wise, here's where I think he's hurting a little bit.
Oh, God, yeah.
Sean Williams is going to be, I think, splitting time.
Yep. And he could see some time in the box as a linebacker.
I think Von Bell will more than likely be doing that than Sean Williams. Because Von Bell was kind of doing that already last year for the Saints.
The safety you want is Eric Bates in Cincinnati, though.
Jesse Bates.
Oh, yeah. Who did I say?
I don't know. Didn't sound
Jesse
right.
Bates. Sean Bates, I think so. My bad. I meant to say Jesse. My bad.
Yeah, Jimmy Ward, who's really a more corner than safety.
Yeah. Malik Hooker can't stay healthy. He had
Eric
those.
Rowe, another corner-ish safety. Demarius Randall's probably the best out of this group, I think. And Eric Harris is kind of disrespected.
Yeah.
But again, 2 guys on the same team fighting for the same role because, Abram, as long as he's healthy, is going to be out there.
Yep. I think Randall's the guy you want. I think Harris takes a blow to his value with Randall signing.
All right. Keep this a moving. Super Bowl Lions, Ryan here.
That's some wishful thinking right there. Super Bowl Lions, I mean, come on.
He's got Matt Stafford, Derek Carr, don't you disrespect him. And Jameis, if he ever gets to play, and Andy Dalton. He has 2 prime backups.
Yep.
2 good starters, so maybe he'll be okay. He might have to start 1 quarterback a couple weeks, but yeah, it happens. And we're a 14-team league, so
true.
He's got Zeke, he's got Geis, he's got Latavius Murray, and some what ifs. He's got Devonta Freeman and Lamar Miller if they ever sign somewhere.
I like the A.J. Dillon that he drafted. I like that. I think he's going to vulture touchdowns. I really do.
He may. He's got Odell at wide receiver, Will Fuller, Sterling Shepard. He drafted Jalen Reagor. Funchess is sitting out, so he does not have him anymore.
Oh, good grief.
Tight end is where he's loaded.
Oh, God, yeah, he is.
Ingram,
he is stacked.
Dante Howard, and Eric Ebron. So, pretty good tight end crew. We only start 1. You can start more than 1, but D-tackle wise, I like Fletcher Cox and Marlon Davidson. Puna Ford is a good
I like Puna.
guy. Onyemata. Joseph Day is kind of underrated, but he put up decent stats.
Yeah, he did all right. Got him in the 43rd round, so that's good value.
Defensive end, Josh Allen, Everson Griffin, if he ever signs. And he's kind of hurt. Actually, Eric Armstead is probably his other starter.
Oh, wait. He has L.J. Collier.
He does. Notice I didn't say he was good with that.
Oh, Lord. What were you all thinking?
That's why we gave a bunch of firsts to get Jamal Adams, because we were just going to waste him anyway. Linebackers, TJ White, Devin White, Logan Wilson.
Jayon Brown.
Nigel Bradham signed for him, so he took a flyer on him and he signed.
Yep.
Davis Gaither.
Marcus Golden signed, so that's a good one.
Golden. Harold Landry, your buddy.
Oh, Lord.
You also got your other buddy, Logan Ryan, who's yet to sign.
Oh, man. Don't even get me started on that. Christian fucking Fulton. Jesus.
Not supposed to curse on this show. Anyway, Pierre Desir, Kendall Fuller, Kenny Moore, Darius Slay are his other corners. Jonathan Abram, Terrell Edmonds, Justin Evans, Marquise Blair. He's got two guys. Eric Reed, if he signs.
In his defense, though, he took Blair before the Jamal Adams sign. So, Blair had a lot of more upside and value before that happened. So,
no, I don't see how it changed any. McDougald was going to start ahead of him anyway.
Although I did see this somewhere, and I need to go back and look and see if I can find the tweet. I guess, help me, your coach.
Well, if you're talking about the Adams playing down in the box,
no,
Blair getting to play with Diggs, or Diggs playing nickel corner and Blair coming on the field, then that's a possibility.
Well, I saw that Blair could play some corner, which I like.
I think Diggs would be more suited to do that. But
Pete Carroll said that. He's like, hey, we like Marcus Blair. He has a lot of potential. We could see him playing some corner for us. I'll have to find that tweet.
We'll see. So that's Ryan's team. And last but not least, Jamie's team here. Really risking the – he's only got two. But he's got Deshaun Watson and your favorite quarterback, Ryan Tannehill.
I hate you. God, why do you do this? I hate you.
Reading the screen, man.
You're an ass. Freaking ass.
He's got Cam Akers. He's got a ton of running backs. I'm not sure. A ton of good running backs.
Well, he's got, let's see here, Marlon Mack, Cam Akers.
Yeah, that's about it.
Tony Michel, maybe.
Yeah, I guess he knows Sonny Michel.
Peyton Barber, maybe.
No. That Washington backfield is a void.
Carlos Hyde? I don't think he beats out Chris Carson.
Justice Hill might get some. I mean, all of these guys need something to happen for them to.
He's got like 20 running backs. That's great.
They all need it. They all need something to fall away, is the shame of it. Wide receivers. DJ Chark.
Don't you dare do that. Don't do that.
Jakeem Grant just lucked out. He's got two guys opting out ahead of him, so he automatically becomes their slot receiver.
Very true.
He drafted Ruggs. He had Deebo Samuel, who's coming back from injury. Darius Slayton.
He does have Preston Williams. That's going to be a good one for him.
So, yeah, Kiki Kuti, if he ever gets anything. I don't know. I think he's done pretty much. Danny Amendola might not be a bad.
Yeah, he's a good, solid veteran. Yeah, he'll do okay.
He took George Kittle and then forgot about tight end for a while. Will Dissly, interesting. I've heard some things about Will Dissly. No tight end has really come back from an ACL and a patella injury.
Oh, wow.
That well. So Dissly may, he
showed a lot of promise, though, before he got hurt.
D tackles. Good God. You have
your
Mark
favorite
Buckner and Aaron Donald.
He's got the best screw up ever by you, DeForest Buckner.
Yeah. And he's also got Matt Ioannidis and Sheldon Rankins and Derek Nandi. So his D tackles.
Yeah, he's pretty stacked at D tackle.
He might want to start one of these guys at defensive end. He has Jordan Cameron, solid.
Dunlap's not bad.
Dunlap's not bad. I was joking.
Davenport has potential. Yeah,
has a lot of potential. Again, potential is nothing without.
You know what? Right here's one. Stephen Tuitt. He got hurt last year, so I like him. I mean, he plays opposite of
Hayward.
Yes, Hayward. So I like him. I mean,
yeah,
and he got him in the 24th round, so that's good value. So can't blame me for that.
Yeah. Linebacker wise, Kwiatkowski.
I like
Murray.
it. I like it. Levante David.
And Anthony Barr, yeah. Sometimes I'm skimming through and I missed some guys.
Tahir Whitehead, he'll be good in Carolina.
For a year.
Yep.
For about maybe a couple months.
Anthony Barr will be okay.
He's only got one corner, so he's going to have to pick somebody up. Although his roster, he's got to make some of his demotions. I got to get in here and make some announcements here. If you're listening, since you should be, it's a listener league. You should be at 60 active and then 10 on your taxi squad.
Oh, I need to check my roster.
He's also at safety. You got Von Bell, Quandre Diggs, Kyle Duggar, Adrian Phillips, and Roger Teamer, who was apparently released. Who thought Roger Teamer was going to be a thing? Like,
I know. I mean,
he was surprisingly waived 4 days ago. But yeah, Roger Teamer, I don't think was ever going to be a thing. So that's a listener league. I got one thing, and since we are on video, I thought it'd be a cool thing to share.
Oh, we're on video? What the hell?
We're always on video now.
Oh, Jesus.
So I was going through my basement area that I talked about here, and I found in a shoebox my little mini helmets with the white crossbar on the front.
Oh, dude, I collect those. What do you want for that?
This is my collection.
Oh, dude, I want both of those.
Well, no, I have like a whole box of them. Like I have the whole team. I have the Browns, which was probably the worst because you just had the brown helmet.
Actually, let me show you one. I found this one at a flea market, actually.
Buffalo Bills here. I can't see it. It's too bright.
It's the old Tennessee or Houston Oilers hat.
Okay.
Kind of hard to see.
In the same box, I have the baseball helmets too.
You know, I had those when I was a kid, but I don't have those now. But I do collect the little miniature football helmets. I do. I grab them up everywhere.
Detroit.
Oh, I remember those.
Actually, this is a pretty cool one. It looks like the old school Eagles.
Oh, yeah.
Like Jaworski days helmet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got like 5 Browns helmets.
Let me see if I can find.
Here's here's a collector's item now. The Washington football team. Some of them are missing their little chin strap things. You know, these things fall off all the time. Old school Denver Broncos helmet.
Right.
The Cardinals.
See, I kind of one up you.
The Seahawks is actually I already have over there. But yeah, I had the teal Florida Marlins hat.
I was lucky enough to find about 6 or 7 still in the little plastic bubbles where you got them out of the quarter machines, you know.
Oh, here's the best one of the group. I'll wait till you're looking here.
Hang on. Let me get my crap back over here. I got a little chest behind me, so.
Here's the best one of the group.
I can't.
There you go.
Oh, that's awesome. The Buccaneers. The creamsicle, yes.
The creamsicle. Yeah.
That is awesome.
One of the group, yeah. The creamsicle. I got a couple of the Washington curse words.
Curse words.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I one time, like, you know, I would drop dollars in this stupid.
Yeah, I used to have a crap ton of those things when I was a kid.
I actually bought a set of all of them, all 32 teams. And I actually, during the season, I update the division, like, standings.
That's cool.
Standings, like, you know, once every couple weeks, because I don't get a chance to do it every week. But
right.
But yeah, so that,
hey, we got a couple listener questions if we got time.
We you know where we'll handle those on the Patreon episode, because we are out of time. Because
all right then.
So if you want to hear the answers, I guess become a patron or hit us up in the DMs, one or the other. I'm clicking on the wrong thing here.
Good grief. You act like you've never done this before, man.
I've never done it.
He said I've never.
Every week I do the same thing. I forget the outro music isn't here. I'll just send Nate the outro music so it's just here in the StreamYard thing. But anyways, next week we'll kind of be, I don't know, we might be able to do a regular show because I thought we were at tape on Thursday, but we can actually tape on Monday. So we'll see.
Monday night.
Good night now.
Tighten up.